If you go to an Asian community, like they all help each other. But when you go to a black community, how many black-owned businesses, besides maybe a restaurant, are actually owned by black people?
Depends which. I think when we look at black people in America, we look at them as a monolith, right? But if you look at like Caribbean black people in America, they do have a lot of businesses. You look at like African from Africa in America communities, they are. You go to Atlanta and you're seeing like a city of African Americans, Caribbeans, Africans, absolutely thriving. So these things do exist.
It's a cultural thing. It's not all black people in the world. It's just more so black people in America.
It's a culture of ownership. And once that culture of ownership is established and other people see it as a possibility, they believe they can do it. There's that video of you I was watching where you're saying like it was really important for you to see KSI because you saw a black creator doing what you were doing and it made it possible for you. And like young kids that grow up that are black and they grow up in Atlanta and their dentist is black, their lawyer is black, their tax guy is black. It just is like, oh yeah, I guess I'll be a dentist or I'll be a lawyer, or I'll be a tax person. Like it's just so readily available.
Much less significant example, but you didn't see Indian comedians before Russell Peters.
And then it just becomes
so many.
Because it's possible. Here's the example. Have you heard of what is it, the 3-minute mile?
4 minute mile.
The 4 minute mile.
Roger
like nobody could break the 4 minute mile. One person breaks it, and then like immediately after, fucking 20 people break it. You just need to know it's possible in order for you to do. A lot of people need to feel that way.
And this is why it's the importance of representation. So it's like at a march, having all these voices speak on behalf of the black community is important because their voices are like very influential. So it's like maybe the message might not permeate the entire culture if it's just from black people, but if it comes from all these different faces, that's
the problem though. When instead of you hear from a black person, you don't listen, but when a white person says it, then okay, now I'm listening. I feel like that's when the problem is.
Yeah, but sometimes like you need that just to permeate the community, and then they'll be more open to hearing from
then you'll never be say
There's validity, I think, to what you're saying, which is we should empower our own, we should uphold our own, we should strengthen our own, we should keep the dollar in our community. But that doesn't negate the fact that it helps when there's a big systemic issue if other groups of people are saying, no, for real, this is a problem. This isn't just a group of people complaining.
That's interesting, though. I hear what you're saying. Like, are you conditioned to only care about it once white people start caring about it? And that's your concern. You're not, you wish it wasn't that way. Yeah, so I think you guys are both agreeing. There's different ways of making things happen, but I think that, like, what's happening now, especially your generation, like, you're growing up where a lot of more things are completely normal for black people that just weren't, like, say, my generation. Like, there was one black guy that skateboarded in my generation.
For real?
You know what I mean? Not even for real. It was the dude in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. It was like he was the only one. Now it's like I don't even think I see white kids skateboarding anymore. You know what I mean? It's just
be a lot of black kids now. Black and Mexican.
It's just like, yeah, this is just a normal thing. Yeah, like skateboarding is whatever. You see black Republicans now, like on YouTube, you just see it, and it's not like, holy, how could you? What is going on? It's like, yeah, I grew up religious, and this kind of is a lot more similar to like my belief systems. I'm a little bit more conservative, so I believe in it. So I'm seeing that kind of progress culturally happen. But that shit takes decades, bro. That's the other thing. Is like we know the things that are wrong, and we're going, let's change it immediately. But you need that shit to seep into your brain a little bit.
The trauma of all those things are still there.
Yeah,
but it's like a lot of cultures have trauma, you know, and it's like they bounce back. You know what I mean? At some point, it's like you can't blame your trauma forever. Like you gotta make your future better. You know what I mean? There's some people that had some fucked up childhoods that, yeah, it definitely doesn't affect them for the rest of their life, but they made the best out of it to make sure that their future is straight. And it's like, you know, when is that accountability gonna be taken? And I feel like it's more of like a handout right now than, and then like, you know, I'm wanting to speak because it's like, you know, I'm not doing the most, but it's just like, you know, like me saying this stuff is like, oh, you're a coon, you like blah 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 blah. You're just trying to appease white people. It's like it's not even like for white people or nobody. It's just like the God honest truth, you know? Yeah. If you're a drug addict, what is your mom gonna tell you? Like you gotta help yourself. You know, there's nobody she can go get to come talk to you. That's gonna knock you out of it.
I think also you're just younger, so you're further along in the progress. Like all of us had friends whose parents, maybe not parents, definitely grandparents, grew up in segregation, like vividly remembering segregation. For you, your mom was probably, what, born in the 70s, 80s, whatever. It's like, yeah, no, I don't really, I grew up in a